Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Vinaxius and I am bringing you Hearthstone Arena Into the Pit. Our last game was super exciting. I managed to barely scrape by with 1 health, and it was a blood-pumping match. I was on the edge of my seat for a lot of it, and if you're watching this video, I assume you watched the previous episode when we started this arena run. We're 2-0 right now, and that's feeling pretty good, but these games are really close, and that has me really nervous as we continue to progress up the ladder.
You asked for it.
Not a big fan of what we have here right now. I'm going to be aggressive, and I'm going to mulligan the water elemental as well. Hopefully that works out well for us. Okay, we'll say that it went alright. Did I change my language settings or something here? If so, my apologies, because that's kind of awkward. Can I do anything about that? No, I don't see any language things over here. I feel like I just made some sort of horrible mistake. And I guess we're just going to deal with me having, well, obviously some sort of other language here. Probably not the most ideal situation, but we'll deal with it. Right now, I am not liking the looks of my hand. Usually I'd have a lot more spells in order to deal with his early game creatures, which I do not. I'm going to presumably be trading an injured Blade Master here, which is not the best situation. Honestly, I'm more comfortable with doing this.
Job's done.
And if he decides to attack the Swordsmith, then that's fine with me. I think that's a very debatable decision that I made, but it is a decision I made nonetheless, so we'll see what happens. Now that we're actually into the mana range to warrant some good stuff out of here, I think it's actually not a terrible play. My question to myself is if it is worth Cone of Colden right now. And my answer is yes. I could be wrong, but I feel like I'm right. Obviously that's a feeling, and I could be very well wrong, but I think next turn when we Hero Power finish out the Panther, we play Injured Blade Master and things will be looking good. If not, we can just Abomination actually, and that could be useful. We'll see. He shapeshifts as well, and he's probably going to just poke the Shield Bearer for 1. He absolutely does do that. I actually feel better about an A-bomb in this situation. It's another taunt. He's going to have to deal with it in some way. No matter what he does to deal with it, the A-bomb's going to do 2 damage to everything on the board right now. And that's going to kill all the minions he has out currently. And that is, I feel, pretty card efficient. We'll see what decision he makes here. Obviously, I can't play a Cult Master right now because A-bomb is on the board. He dealt with that, of course, so now a lot more options are available to me. That's kind of funny, to be honest. I don't want to play the Cult Master right now, because the Cult Master is simply going to die. So I'll just play out these two, get a card draw. It's Polymorph, which is good. At 8 mana, he gets his class creature, which is an 8/8 taunt, treant, scary gigantic thing. I'd love to Polymorph that. Next turn, I'm presumably going to Cult Master. I don't think he should feel threatened by the creatures I have right now, so if I were him, I would probably swing at myself. Especially now that he has a taunt, there's no reason why he should decide to trade the Injured Blade Masters. If he does, I think that is good for me, and I'll take it. He does not, which is also good for me, and I will take it. With the 4 damage bear on the field, I think I am okay to Cult Master here. And what I'll do is I will just straight up trade all this stuff here.
Oh, if you're sure.
And that facilitates a bunch of card draw. I get to deal with the bear with hero power. And now I have a card advantage, which is going to be very helpful, and I also have Flame Strike for if he plays out a bunch of smaller creatures right now. My hand is looking pretty good. I have a lot of responses to big creatures, I have responses to a lot of little creatures, I have some solid creatures of my own. Creatures. Ooh, Mark of the Wild's a good call by him, though. This was a flesh-eating ghoul, that's scary. There is, in fact, a situation here. Actually, I don't think it's too bad. We have 8 mana. I don't want to use Flame Strike yet. I think the most efficient way to deal with this is to start with the Spellbreaker. That's going to silence the ghoul. The Cone of Cold freezes the ghoul for now, and it finishes off the Blade Master. And now it's just a 2-2, and that is not as scary. I think that's the most efficient play I can make. With the Mountain Giant, that's going to be my Polymorph Dragon because I have no other way of dealing with it. And so this just makes sense. And I'm also going to Ventricombe Mercenary to get his damage onto the board as quickly as possible. I mean, look at the cards we have here. We have a lot to play still, and Dark Scale Healer if our Ventricombe Mercenary dies. Which he very well might. I don't imagine him surviving a long time because he's a scary dude. The Shield Master certainly delays for a bit. He has 5 more mana, so he's going to do something, I presume. At least hero power. Well, my Ventricombe Mercenary is going to be dealt with for sure. He's probably going to kill my Spellbreaker as well, to be honest. Yeah, that's smart of him. I think that was a good play. He got pretty decent efficiency there. I am in fact going to Fireball this guy. And I don't think I should bother with Ice Barrier just yet. So I'll just Dark Scale Healer, heal myself for 2, and I'll have a 4-5 on the field. He now has a card advantage again. And my Ice Lance does not do anything yet until I draw another freezing effect.
Where shall I
Well, it does something, but it doesn't do anything good, is what I should maybe say instead. This looks like a prime situation for a Flame Strike, actually. It'll get the Yeti dealt with. It'll get the Druid of the Claw almost dealt with. But I don't think we can hope for a lot better from that. So let's do the Flame Strike. Maybe it was smarter if I had waited till he had no creatures on the field. And then I probably should have just Ice Barriered and Hero Powered something for 1 damage. But that feels really dicey to me, so I don't know if I was comfortable with that, and so I chose a different alternative.
May my ancestors watch over.
Okay. It does have a taunt, so that absorbs my Dark Scale Healer for sure. The Boulder Fist Ogre is the problem here. I hope I get something good out of this. Well, it certainly isn't bad, is it?
Where shall I strike?
I'm obviously doing the trade there. I can Ice Barrier and be comfortable either way. And honestly, I think I do 3 damage with the Shield Master, puts him to 4, 3. I don't like having to trade Strowman Champion,
Behold the might of Stormwind!
but that is all I can do, I think. Who knows, maybe he'll just go for my throat and I'll get a little bit of a sustainability advantage and maybe turn things around here. Alright. Let's see what he does. It really depends on the two cards he has in his hand right now. It's very even on the field. Okay, I'm scared. Yep, I guess a trade. I'm going to take a ton of damage from Ragnaros right now. And that's not a good thing. I'm going to get as many targets on the board as I can. I'll deal with the board with the Stoker. That's all I can do this turn. Here's hoping that I have a solution to the Ragnaros. Or else I'm just going to fall over to him in 3 turns after my field is cleared. Alright, Wild Growth. Huh, I've never seen that excess mana card before. I deal 6 damage right now, it's definitely not enough to finish off this Ragnaros. Let's see what he hits. Yep. Alright.
I got the best deals anywhere.
We got an Auctioneer. We got Card Draw. It's a Fairy Dragon. We'll play that out as well. I can't race him down, but I can't deal with him right now. I think I should actually just kill Injured Birdmaster and deal 1 damage to Ragnaros for the time being. Now I can presumably get the thing killed at the cost of absolutely all my cards. Like I said, all these matches are really tight and close. Darren Mage doesn't scare me. He's going to deal with the Shield Master. I would prefer if he hit me with Ragnaros right now. He does not, which is unfortunate. And I am with naught but a Water Elemental from my troubles. It gives me more targets for Ragnaros to hit, but he's getting his card advantage and that's scary. We have some bigger cards. We have Fireballs still in our deck. I'd love a Fireball. Alright. He's going to finish off the Water Elemental with Hero Power for sure. Gosh, I'm going to take a ton of damage from Ragnaros no matter what it looks like. Here it comes. Let's see what Ragnaros hits. Is it going to be... Yep. I wonder if it prioritizes all the creatures actually. That might make sense, considering that he hasn't hit me yet. Well, we have to do it. Let's cross our fingers and hope. Right now, we are not in a good situation. And I really wish I kept the Polymorph. I don't even remember what I used it on, but it was not the right thing. Curse you! Here comes the pain now, and he's got a lot of cards to play out still. Taunt and +2/+2, that's great. Yeah, I'm not in a good situation here. I have to do 4 damage somehow. I'm absolutely going to die next turn. Well, here's a Cobra. Here's some damage in case my Cobra dies before it hits Ragnaros, which it is. All I needed was like a Fireball. Or like a Frostbolt, or like... I did get a Frostbolt, so I guess I can't complain about that. Thanks, I guess? I guess he's probably gonna kill me here. What? I don't understand how he has 2 legendaries.
Well played.
This doesn't make sense to me. I didn't know that was possible. Like, I gotta go out swinging, but... Can you get 2 legendaries from draft? You have to be like super lucky to have that happen, I guess. I got 0.
Well played.
That doesn't sound fair at all. Obviously, I don't really know how Arena works, I guess. But you know, good game. I think we held up pretty well, considering how good his deck was. And that's going to be our first loss, and I don't feel too terribly about that. Obviously, it was really unlucky that I ended up having to stand up against a Ragnaros and a Cenarius. But that's what happens in random number-generated background games. Those sentences didn't make sense, and I don't know. We are definitely getting a good variety of different players and classes here, which is nice. I think it's worth keeping a fireball in my hand. Maybe I should have cycled out Ice Barrier. Yeah, I think I should have done that. That was a bad call by me.
Hello.
I'm just really distracted now by the fact that he had 2 legendaries in his arena deck. Someday that's going to happen to me and I'm going to be super happy. Is all I'm going to say. Until then, I am hanging out, I guess. Next turn I'll probably just hero power again to finish off the ooze. Because 3 damage puts my shield master down at 2 right off the bat, and that's not a good deal. We'll see what the warlock plays though. He just life taps, so I'm going to do just that. And I am content with just holding back for now. A-bomb's obviously better for when he has a bunch of creatures on the field, but that may or may not happen, and we'll find out. He is just going hard on the life taps, so... like, both of us have accumulated many cards. Alright. Here we go. Let's start playing things. Now he has to play something out of his hand to deal with this. I think it's a fine play to pull out the Co-Mercenary, because either way, if he deals with it, I take cards out of his hand. Ooh, a drain life, that's a good thing for him to lose. And that means I essentially used up 3 of his cards with my 1. And that's great. Puts us in a pretty advantageous situation, I would say. Question is, what do we do here? We have a lot of bursty damage sort of things. I'm going to play a Shield Master. Shield Master, I should say. And he still has a lot of cards in his hand, so it's certainly not over yet. But I think I got some solid stuff going on with the Venture Mercenary.
Pass me that arc light spanner.
Alright.
It's time for a little blood.
Alright. Yeah, I'm still feeling pretty comfortable here. What do I want to do with 6 mana right now? I think it's safe to play a Raid Leader at this point, now that we have a taunt on the field. Question is, what do we want to do after that? Fairy Dragon's fine. Let's get out some damage now. It has been a relatively slow start to this one. We've had a couple trades going on, but we haven't been throwing out cards fast and furious like oftentimes you do. He's going to deal with my Raid Leader, I presume. Oh wait, this doesn't have double strike. But yeah, he can just No-Wish Inventor and finish that off. I do get to trade my Fairy Dragon for the Arcane Commander though, which is fine. I'd be happy to make that trade. And I'll play a Boulder Fist Ogre this turn. Continue to be at least intimidating on the board. He's still got the card advantage, obviously, being a Warlock, that's sort of what he does. We still have a lot of things to use to deal with his cards that he will eventually someday play out. Here comes one now, it's a Summoning Portal. And that's going to let him play an up to 6 card thing. He can play a bunch of cheap ones too, of course. Nothing's stopping him from doing that. And if he plays any more creatures, I think it's a good time to use my Abomination.
My shield for Argus!
Ooh, absolutely, it's time to Abomination. We do only have 8 mana, that means I won't be able to fireball the summoning portal though. I don't think that's the most significant thing though, so I think it is a right play to Abomination and Ice Barrier. We'll get this killed so that the death battle happens. And if he kills the Abomination, we will get some decent damage out of it at least. I'd really love a Flame Strike. We have 2. We have a 1 in 9 chance to get it, which is like 11%, which aren't the worst odds. Even if I don't get that, I can just Cone of Cold to finish off these guys, so Sea Giant makes me uncomfortable. Obviously we'll Fireball that next turn if the situation allows for it. I do want him to conduct this trade though, that makes me happy. And will he do so? He'll do it in the most damage mitigating way possible. Using a Demon Fire, that's fair. Here comes the Pain. And now, he still has 5 mana. That's pretty crazy. I can honestly say I did not notice that. And now he has, 2 Sea Giants.
Well played.
Almost out of time.
This is a pretty scary situation, I gotta say. Alright. Alright. How do I want to do this to make the most use out of my cards? If we Cone of Cold in the middle and get both the Sea Giants,
I wonder.
I can then Ice Lance and get 1 killed. That doesn't deal with the second one, however. I Cone of Cold here. I Ice Lance. And I Fireball the other one. That's a total of 8 mana.
I wonder.
I think that's the best play we can make. So let's do it. There's Cone of Cold. There's Fireball. There's Ice Lance. And there's the end of our turn. We used up a lot of cards there, and he now once again has a card advantage because he's a Warlock. So that's to be expected. We just have to really hope we get lucky with our draws at this point, to be honest.
Why do you call?
Voidwalker I'm okay with. Second Voidwalker I'm okay with. I'd love Flame Strike. I would always love a Flame Strike. I did not get a Flame Strike. I'm not surprised that I didn't get a Flame Strike, so... You know... We have to deal with what we get. Obviously, I want to save my Frostbolt and Fireball until some heavier hitting things come out. I don't mind just taking my time dealing with the Voidwalkers. And they'll hear Power of the Summoning Portal finally, next turn. Oh! There goes my injured Blade Master. He continues to facilitate a lot of card draw. He has drawn 8 more cards than me so far. That's crazy, actually. Obviously, the Voidwalker there is now worth Frostbolting. My armor's starting to break, oh no. I'd still love a Flame Strike one of these days. What should we do here?
You shall
We could
not
just
pass.
play out the Taunt and Storm and Champion, I think. Just in case he has something that is even more worth fireballing. A Flame Strike would solve this whole situation, though. And I have 2 inside these 15 cards here. I'm really sounding like Northern Lion right now. Come on, top deck of Flame Strike. His Mortal Coils he's making really good use of right now, though, for sure.
Pass me that Arclight spanner.
And he is still getting the craziest amounts of card draw. It is brutal. If I survive to draw Flame Strike, all my woes are at an end. So we just have to really hope. Just get me the Flame Strike, man. Get me it and I will do many beautiful things for you. Not to any extremes, of course. This is a really long turn because the Warlock has a lot to work with. He's got a lot of decisions to make. He has used so many Mortal Coils so far, it is ridiculous. And here comes the Blood Imp too. That actually has the potential to really complicate things. Thankfully it has not as of yet. That sucks. I'm going to have to fireball the Dark Iron Door. And I have to be content with just hitting the Summoning Portal for 1 damage. Alright. Every turn we don't draw a Flame Strike, we have a better chance of drawing our Flame Strike. That is all I need to turn this around. Oh my gosh. I can't get over how close all of these battles are, though.
Summon me. I'm almost out of cards.
This guy has drawn so many cards. That's all I'm going to say about that. The Doomguard has charge, so he's going to be able to swing in for some big damage. And he is keeping a very tight hold on my side of the board here. Flame Strike. Ugh, please. My life for a Flame Strike. He's going to be able to finish me off really soon. And I just need the Flame Strike. It is the only answer I have to this situation right here. And I'm just going to talk about it over and over, and if I don't draw it, I will continue to talk about it after this game ends. He has a lot of card draw in this deck, though. I think he's made a really good one, and I think he forgot that he was out of cards and accidentally hit himself for 3 damage. Which is probably not the situation he was hoping for. I did manage to keep that Doomguard occupied for as long as possible, which is good. Here comes the Pain Train now, though. Cone of Cold is definitely better than nothing. I need to mitigate the most amount of damage possible with it, so obviously it's going to go over there. With the Doomguard being frozen for the next turn, I can just get that over with as well. And he'll do 4 damage to me at least this turn.
Attend me.
Ready, sir.
Obviously a lot more next turn. But I'm surviving. And this is actually really tight. And that was not what I needed. Okay, continue to mitigate damage as much as possible. But he does win next turn.
Well played.
And I'm bitter about that. It came really close. Oh my gosh. You know, luck had to be on someone else's side at some point, of course. So that was a good game by him. Well played. He's living on the edge, though. He was out of cards for a long time. Man. That's a little bit frustrating that we went 2 losses immediately after the crazy start we had. That was also a crazy game, though. Things are still really exciting. If we end 2-3, though, I'm definitely going to be disappointed because I think this mage deck could do a lot better. I mean, you're seeing how close these games are.
Versus throw.
And it would really upset me if we had to end it on such a negative note with 3 losses in a row. Obviously, I am going to keep Frostbolt because it is a strong damage spell. Shield Master is also a very strong taunt that we can play on turn 3 if we want to. Here I will feel pretty good about playing a shield bearer.
You shall not pass.
And then if he unlocks his Worgen Infiltrator from stealth, I get to hero power next turn. Obviously, I can't imagine that he won't at least hero power this turn with 2 mana.
Fight, maggot.
Ooh, the Abusive Sergeant is going to deal with me. Still, not super worried. Just gonna hero power this turn. Next turn will be Ascendant Shieldmaster unless there is something really worth spell breaking. But for 3 mana, I don't think so, unless he plays like a Flame Tongue Totem. Flame Tongue? Ooh, Mana Tide. Never mind, I'm silencing the Mana Tide. He did get his 1 card draw out of it, which is to be expected. Here comes Spellbreaker. Stop that card draw from happening. And now we have some presence on the field as well. Next turn, it'll likely be Ascendant Shieldmaster. He finishes off my Spellbreaker with a Lightning Bolt. Gets a Flame Tongue Totem. I'm actually going to Frostbolt that because obvious reasons. So let's do that. That dealt with. This dealt with, and we'll turn. We're building up a card advantage here, which is good. Actually, it's not that huge of card advantage. But we have one, so that's not too bad. And he's going to start using hero power and stuff, which is obviously fair. I get to start making my presence known on the board again. I should be worried a little bit about the Wrath of Air Totem. Shaman thunderstorms and lightning bolts and lava bursts and stuff can really benefit from those. Wrath of Air Totem was actually what turned around a couple games in the 7-3 Shaman run that I had. Just doing that 1 extra point of damage on like a lava burst or lightning bolt really changes things. So I think it would be... Never mind, he's going to trade the stuff, so that's not a bad use of Bloodlust. I find that you have trouble with it, especially when you're behind, because then you don't have the momentum to make the Bloodlust really useful. He has 7 mana now, so he's going to be able to do some scary things, I'd assume. I could see myself Cult Mastering and using the Emperor Cobra, maybe. But I don't see him playing out like scary things right now. I guess you could call Spellbreaker scary, sort of. I think it is worth it to get the card draw out of Cult Master here. We'll swing in at the Spellbreaker. We'll do a damage with hero power. We got Polymorph, which is good. And we'll see if he wants to trade or not. If I were him, I think I would. Because the card draw really gives people an advantage. Maybe not anymore. Absolutely not anymore. Unless he actually does still. Nope, he's gonna swing at me. That's fair. Today is a day of Flame Strike, which we actually have this time around, which makes me really happy. You know? Oh man, these games are close and I'm having a lot of fun, so it's good. He's got a lot of scary stuff out still, though. Obviously, I'm going to deal with the Abomination before I do anything else. And the best way to do that is to simply get that killed and get everything off the field. Here, I think we actually make good use of Darkscale Healer. We give our injured Blade Master 2 extra health. Pardon me for my burps. I did just eat dinner, I guess. Like 2 hours ago, so I guess that's not the excuse. With his number of cards, I am not super worried. Yeah, that's the Wrath of Air Totem effect that I was talking about. It's really good. It can really turn the tide a lot of the times. I think it's worth it to actually keep some damage on the field here, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to frostbolt that thing. And that way I get to swing for 8 this turn. And here I need to decide what to do. Water Elemental, Fairy Dragon. Gonna power him. Let's get this momentum going and start going for the throat. We still have a Polymorph and a Cone of Cold to deal with anything he puts out. We have an Ice Barrier to help us live a little longer if he puts out something super scary. I'm not afraid of the Gurbash of Berserker. The taunt is just annoying. And we get a Venture Cone Mercenary, which is cool. So let's swing like that. And we will continue going for the kill here. Use him with a little bit of health left. I'm going to be absolutely thorough here though, of course.
Well played.
And I will say well played in response. Maybe he will be able to turn this around, we'll see. He's got the opportunity at least. And we at least get to break even in this arena run, which is a good sign. Need to remember to cut the episode short after this one. Is he gonna just go for the glory blow? Yep. And there's the Ice Barrier, and looks like he's gonna see things through and maybe let me deal the final blow. I respect that. Much honor. I'll do it with the Fairy Dragon. Good game. Oh, I don't get to say anything. That's unfortunate. Alright. Obviously, this was not the result I was hoping for in our second video. 2 losses and 1 win. However, I think that it will keep things even more exciting than it has already been, because now we are on the razor's edge of losing and dropping out of Arena entirely, too. So thank you very much for joining me in this adventure. I appreciate your support. Leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more. I'll see you next time.